Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Piper Academy. I'm your host, Army Piper, coming at you every single Monday through Friday, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, along with OC Guy, TradeFly. We're going to be bringing you guys the charts, the markets, the news, the economics, everything that you're going to need to be ahead of the markets, because it's brutal out there, guys. It's brutal. Without any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and bring up the team here. We got a lot of news to go over today. Polygon MATIC, are they working with Binance to manipulate and press price for us, on us, I should say? We got a breaking report on that one. Also, it looks like ETF for Ethereum, not likely this year in 2024. Massive possible dump for Ethereum coming down the line. Guys, there's a ton going on right now. It's fun. And I just want to refresh your guys' memory real fast here. Let me go in here and take a look here. I got to pull this up because we had this thing back here on X. Where's my X? Right there. Nope, back here on X. We had a thing that I told you guys about earlier in the year, at the beginning of the year. It's right here. Here we go. It says 2024 price predictions. The economy won't collapse. The treasury market won't become illiquid. Half the population of Europe is not going to freeze. Oil won't spike to $200 a barrel. Come back here. Thank you. Whoa, easy. There we go. There won't be a U.S. CBDC. Gold was not going to outperform stocks. U.S. banking system won't collapse. Most folks will continue to say Bitcoin is going to zero, won't be able to change their mind. Folks on Twitter will continue to say all of the above. This is going to be a year of fun. We know this. We know this is going to happen. We talked about this on January 1st. It's like, look, keep this. I tagged it. I bookmarked this in my X so that I can always go back and check it and remember when all this FUD's coming out and everyone's crying and screaming. That is when we try to remember this is normal. This FUD happens every time that people get euphoric. We get drowned with FUD. So I just want to put that out there. But hey, OC, TradeFly, how was your weekend? What's up, guys?
What is going on, guys?
Very amazing.
Yeah, mine was busy. Mine was busy,
Go
man.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, had a lot to do with the kids. Actually got a little bit of golf in Sunday morning, so that was cool. Got a new microphone here for you guys. Hopefully, I'm sounding good.
You sound great.
Yeah.
You sound very manly.
Ooh, yes, I turned my broadcaster mode on, just for you guys, so you can have
flipped
my
the switch
voice.
on Barry White mode. Hey, baby.
I fixed my lighting. I don't know if you see that. I don't have a light turning on and off.
It's nice.
So
it's nice.
Good. But yeah, man, just little upgrades, quality of life stuff. Hoping to make the stream a little bit better. You know, staying busy. Super excited to get back into it today. You know, I'm starting to look forward to this in a weird kind of way. So, yeah, man, let's get it going.
Let's do it. OC, what'd you do this weekend? Real fast. Give us the rundown. How was your weekend, man?
Absolutely. I was working the whole weekend, basically just diving back into the indicators piece by piece and reanalyzing each time. Is at that time of the year when I go back and rewatch and dive back in and capacitate myself on the new updates and basically just get things straight, because we need to get started this year with the whole power. So basically I was working, but for me, that is not working. That is just fun, because I mean, at the end of it all, I do trade for life. So that is a direct benefit to me. So yeah, I was just playing around with the indicators.
Nice. Sounds great, man. Lunar Beach Crypto, shout out to you. Shout out to Otter Gang. They got the OGs in here with Alex though Crypto. Because we've got a lot of news to go over this morning, and I definitely want to get the TA in. So let's start over here, guys. Looking at the crypto bubbles, looking at the daily here on market cap. Let's go pull up just a regular day, see what we got going on here. Hex and Pulse Chain, which garbage. I will never ever promote. But yeah, beyond that, well, Hex also. Bonk down 6.2%. Sui. For transparency purposes, I have Sui. It's up almost 10% today. It's a little FTT token from FTX up today about 4.6%. Aptos up about a 1% there. Ton up 3.1. BNB up 4.2, and BNB is in our news today because we got that article about BNB and the Polygon MATIC team. So we'll get into that. Let's go ahead and check the cryptocurrency prices here. Bitcoin up about 0.2% in the past hour, but down 1.2% for the past 24, still down 5.1% for the past 7 days here, guys. Ethereum up 12.3% for the 7 days, still up for the week, but down about 1% in the 24-hour period, neutral for the past hour. What else we got here? BNB, guys, just looking good on the hourly, the daily, and the weekly. Means I'm probably buying dinner for somebody over in Dubai next year. Lido staked ETH up still on that 12.3%. Cardano still up for the week, down on the daily and the hourly. What else we got here? Chainlink on an absolute tear today. We're going to be taking a look at Chainlink. Where's my hat? Got to have my hat on. Hold on one second. There we go. Talking about Chainlink, you got to put it on. Chainlink up. Marines, let's go. Chuncoin up 4.5% for the past 7 days, as we just talked about. And MATIC, while it's up 8.3%, could be cause for concern if there's any validity to the conspiracy of the Breaking Report, the secret plan. Guys, like I said on the thing, conspiracy. We'll take a look at it and we'll see what it says. All right. Looking over here at the Bitcoin liquidations for the past 24 hours. In the past 24 hours, 51,226 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in $122.8 million. The largest single liquidation on OKX. It was an ETH trade valued at $3.9 million. So shout out if you got $3.9 million to just throw away and get liquidated. You are the MVP. Taking a look here for the week, guys. Let's drop this onto the economic calendar with 2 stars. There we go. And big one's going to be retail sales coming out on Wednesday, right there, January 17th. Building permits on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to get those home sales, and we'll see what goes on there. So not a huge week when it comes to the economic stuff. The big one, guys, going to be down here on the 31st. That is going to be when we get that Fed interest rate decision. You can see right now, looking like it's going to be just a pause, no cuts for January. So let's go into here and let's take a look at this article. This is just the beginning. BlackRock CEO reveals massive crypto plan after the ETF sparks wild Bitcoin and Ethereum swing. Bitcoin, Ethereum, other major cryptocurrencies have swung wildly this week after BlackRock led a Bitcoin invasion of Wall Street. I don't know that they led an invasion of Wall Street as much as they led an invasion by Wall Street. I will correct that article there because it seems like they led all of the manipulators into the market, and everyone sold the news. So Bitcoin price, which some think could be about to challenge gold's $13.7 trillion market capitalization, rocketed to almost $50,000 per Bitcoin after the SEC waved through almost a dozen Bitcoin spot exchange ETFs. Now the chief executive of BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager that spearheaded the ETF campaign. I don't think he spearheaded it. I actually think that would be GBTC and ARK Investments. So spearhead means you're at the front. They were just the bigger piece behind. They were the weight behind that spear, not the point of the spear. They were not first. So this seems like it's a very much a let me pay you to write this article about us and our ETF type thing here. Even as stark Federal Reserve warnings threatens the price of Bitcoin. Here we go. Where is it at? He's in here and he says, we believe this is just the beginning. ETFs are a step 1 in the technological revolution in the financial market. Step 2 is going to be the tokenization of every financial asset. And that is what I wanted to get from this article, because I do believe this is true. I think what he's saying here has a lot of validity. The time is going to come when the dinosaur system of trading stocks on Wall Street is all done, changed over and switched to and done on tokens. It's going to be tokenized where, you know, if you want to buy Tesla stock, you buy a Tesla token. I could absolutely see that. It's all it would get rid of a ton of people on Wall Street, which is probably why it never happened, because they don't like their jobs being taken by automation. Like AI's fine, but God forbid it be smart contracts on blockchain, right? SEC unlikely to approve an Ethereum ETF in the near future, says TD Cowen and JP Morgan. Taking a look at what we have here, the TLDR in this, both of those individuals expect that the SEC to delay Ethereum ETF, first focusing on the Bitcoin experience. Which I don't disagree with that. I think they're going to let all the bugs be ironed out and worked out of the Bitcoin one, but I do think that we're going to see the Ethereum one later down the road, and we'll talk about that in just a second, guys. Get into that conversation. In a recent report by TD Cowen, prominent American multinational investment bank, and about the SEC, that he says it was unlikely to approve an Ethereum ETF anytime soon. The bank's Washington research group suggests that the SEC will prioritize Bitcoin, as we just said, and the delayed expected in Ethereum ETF approval was co-signed and pushed furthermore by JP Morgan, who they share a similar outlook on this. So let's go ahead and jump into a quick chat here, guys. We talked about Bitcoin. We laid out our Bitcoin thing, but we did not really talk about the Ethereum thing very much. So what do you guys think? Is it going to be this year or not?
Well, honestly, I thought we were trending in that direction based on the Bitcoin spot ETF getting approved. I was like, well, it kind of makes sense that ETF would be, or the ETH ETF would be next. So,
Which I agree with.
honestly, yeah, and in my mind, I was like, well, we saw what happened with the price with Bitcoin. I was like, really, regardless whether it happens this year or next year, it still might not be a bad idea to accumulate a little bit of ETH, just knowing what's going to happen, a price action once they do get serious about those discussions. So I'd say better to be early than late on that one. Whether it's going to happen this year or next year, not really sure, honestly. I think it is going to be a bigger discussion because of the proof of stake versus proof of work aspect of it. And Gary is going to be very much the front runner of that discussion.
Yep. OC, what you got, brother?
Well, I mean, I was a bear on Bitcoin ETF. It seems like it took me for a surprise. Nonetheless, I mean,
bear.
I can actually, yes, absolutely. Although I can proudly say that I called the movement, because I said, well, if it gets approved, I believe that it's going to go just slightly up and then goes back down. And that's what I'm going to be looking at. In fact, I do have the charts to back it up with a little bit of Piper's magic. But talking about the ETF on Ethereum, based on my experience, before I would say that no, we're going to be looking at the upcoming year. But now, since we got the Bitcoin approval, I'm going to start turning a little bit more bullish into it and then just scrolling into this year. So I'm going to say yes, maybe, like last quarter of this year, because I don't think the conversation is still there. There's no like that many, rush to get it approved. And as we keep moving forward and we see what happens with Bitcoin, especially after the halving event, I believe that we're going to get an approval, but at the end of the year.
All right, so guys in the chat, go ahead and drop down there. Drop a 1 if you think that we'll see a Bitcoin ETF or an Ethereum ETF in 2024. Drop a 2 if you think that we'll see one in 2025. Or drop a 3 if you are like who was it? Eric Wallen, I think, said that. I think it was Eric Wallen. Yes. If you drop a 3, if you're like Eric Wallen and you just don't care about an Ethereum ETF. So there you go, guys. Let's jump on and continue on with this news. I personally am of the mindset that we are not going to see one in 2024. If we do, it's going to be late 2024. That's just my opinion on it, though. Here's some more fun for you. Celsius Network moves Ethereum worth $125 million, is a sell-off looming. This almost was my thumbnail today, just so you guys know. This article right here. Celsius Network has started working on its restructuring plan. So if you guys don't know, Celsius was an exchange. I would hope that some of you know, but if you don't, I'll explain it to you. They were an exchange that went under. They filed bankruptcy. They have a lot of people's money, to include, I believe, almost 40 Ethereum of Crux cryptos. Lots of ETH out there. They're moving this ETH and they are about to sell it off. So, as part of the strategy, Celsius has started working on its plan to reimburse its creditors $2 billion in Bitcoin and Ethereum, along with company stocks of its new creditor owned Bitcoin mining company. While creditors welcome these steps, there's a note of caution in the air. Celsius prepares for that restructuring, but sell off fears obsolete amid rising institutional demand. So, following the approval of the Bitcoin ETF on Wednesday, January 10th, one of the world's largest asset managers has quietly gobbled up a staggering 11,500, I should say, 11.5K Bitcoins in just 2 days. So just put this all in perspective. A lot of Ethereum getting ready to be pushed out, sold off so that they can get the money to offset what they owe the people. And part of their restructuring requires for them to sell some of their goods. So we could see this sell-off, but what they're saying here in the article is that it's running directly into the hype of this ETF in the future, where we're getting more of a surge than we are a sell-off. But what I want to point out to people, and the reason that I said, here's some more FUD for you. When they go to sell this stuff, guys, they sell it OTC. This isn't like when Mt. Gox pushed all their Bitcoin out and their Bitcoin was sold, given back to the people, and everyone was in profit. So there was a fear that all those people that were getting their Bitcoin back were going to sell. This is Celsius selling their Ethereum. If they do this, they're going to do it over the counter, and over the counter does not affect price. So the sell-off looming, when you see stuff like this, be cognizant of who's selling it. If it's people selling it, yes, it's going to be market sell. But if it is a huge financial entity like this, they're not going to just sell it off on the open market. It's going to be over the counter, and you're going to be okay. That OTC sell there is what you need to understand. So that is why it was not the thumbnail today, because the other one that we're going to get to in a second is actually not FUD. Well, it is FUD, I guess, in the sense, but it's not fake news. This is very misleading when you see these headlines. So wanted to make sure people understand that. A little critical reading there from the years of practice that I have. Let's go in here and let's get into X marks the spot real fast, because I also have something in here on that ETH. First off, guys, just so you're tracking, Trade Wars. Today, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is, you got Crypto Face on here. You got Crypto Crow, Jenna X. Shout out to my wingman, Jenna X there. We got, who is that? Look at that handsome man.
Yeah.
Who is that? Is that you, Tradefly? Oh, wait, no, that's your twin, Alex O Crypto. Yeah, that's your twin. Twin for the win. Like Alex O Crypto. Hey, what's that?
Jeez, don't play with my heart like that. Goodness gracious.
No, yo, Alex O Crypto fire, in here.
Man. Look at bro, the people that are on this.
Calm down, breathe. It's okay. Just like this weekend when everything was selling off, just breathe. Yeah. Alex O Crypto is going to be in there. I'm
excited to watch this one.
Yeah, this is going to be great. We got Alan Nova over here. AJ, yeah, Crypto Blood, Magic Internet, man, everybody's on this. And then this guy.
We just need Trade Flight and Lunar Beach Crypto to get a whole.
I know, right? We need
there,
takeover,
and then we can take over.
Yeah. Maybe we could do a squad. We could do squads like A versus B. So
yeah, would, there's some elimination, like double elimination weekly going on this one. This one's going to be interesting. Also, guys, we got this little report here coming in from the Kabisi letter here. He says, breaking, European Central Bank members, Holzman says it's possible that we see no rate cuts in 2024. We've already talked about January is none. Right now, the markets have, the investors, they have put in like 7 of them. They are calculating a bunch this year, but according to this European Central Bank, they said they don't see any rate cuts coming in 2024. When we asked about the growing calls for rate cuts, he said those people will be very disappointed. Meanwhile, headline inflation in the U.S. has jumped to 3.4%, and in Europe, it jumped to 2.9%. U.S. markets are currently expecting 7 rate cuts in 2024, one at every meeting beginning in March. Guys, January 31st, we got a rate cut. Or we have a FOMC. That one, they say they expect a pause, no cuts, no increase. The next FOMC, there's not one in February. It's going to be in March. So they are expecting, starting in March, that we get one every FOMC after that, which there will be 7 of them. That's the 7 rate cuts. But at the bottom, at the end of the day, KBC letter says it's going to be a wild year. I do not disagree with that. So getting that inflation to 2% has proven to be much harder than getting the inflation to go from 9 to 4. And that's what happens as you get lower and lower. Cutting 50%, it's like price action, right? Getting something that's small cap to go from $100 to $200 is very easy. But when it gets up there, it's very difficult to get it to do another 100x, right? So to get something to go from, for example, 50,000 to 100,000 is a lot more difficult. Just like this coming down, it's going to be a lot more difficult to get it to go from 4 to 2 than what it was to go from 9 to 4. So that's what we got there on the KBC letter. Is there anything else that I had in here? Yes, this was the other one that I was going to talk about with the Ethereum, guys. This whole Ethereum sell-off, it looks like Celsius took the opportunity to unload $125 million of ETH over the ETF week. In the past week, they deposited $95.5 million to Coinbase and sent $29.73 million to Falcon X. So they still have about $1.4 billion worth, which is about 540 ETH remaining, which that's probably going to get handed out. So you guys, you can see we did not really dump this weekend on ETH. It stayed pretty static after that pump. They've sold off the whole time. So there's the proof in the pudding that I wanted to show you, that you don't have to worry about these institutional sell-offs, because again, it's over the counter. So when you see this stuff, just remember that. Let's go ahead and jump over into the Polygon story here, because I want to get this going. We're going to talk about this before we get in the charts. Bombshell report: Polygon's team secret MATIC sales lead to depressed price. So in a detailed analysis released by crypto intelligence firm Chain Argos, allegations have surfaced about the Polygon team's involvement in secret sales of MATIC tokens, potentially leading to a suppression of the token's price. The revelations stem from an in-depth examination of the token's allocation and subsequent flows to various exchanges. Chain Argos, in a series of statements on X, elaborated on discrepancies between Polygon's publicly stated token allocation plan and the actual flows observed. Notably, the firm identified that there was some things going on with the outflows that were not exactly regular, and from a vesting contract and a foundation contract, which ostensibly manages the allocations. They highlighted, when you look at the flows, you find a vesting contract which mechanically unlocks all flows. That shape is odd, and the gaps are all different sizes, Chain Argos reported. $1 billion in MATIC sold in stealth modus. A critical point of concern is the supposed allocation for staking. Chain Argos analysis suggests that while the allocation table indicated a range of 400 million to 1.2 billion MATIC for staking, the actual flow into the staking contract started from 0 and only reached 800 million. So where is the Binance piece on all of this? So it's not just some Binance adjacent thing. The team and Binance are clearly working together to feed these tokens out the back, such as it is, as we are talking about 767 million token with the price somewhere roughly $1 to $2. This is something like $1 billion. So the firm also correlated the outflows from the address with the MATIC price chart, suggesting that these movements were indicative of impending price tops and subsequent decline. So every time it went up, little action sell off, came back down. So that is the price of suppression that they're talking about, and that there's a lack of transparency. Let's go ahead and bring this up and talk about this, because one thing I want to point out is the organization, the institution that is helping, allegedly, based on the appearances of the blockchain stuff, helping to move this MATIC sell-off. It's Binance. Binance, as we already know, just had a major DOJ ass whooping handed to them. I'll go ahead and put that out there. And now they've got a whole bunch of plants inside of Binance from the U.S. federal government. The reason that I said Binance and Polygon conspiracy, is it possible that we're actually seeing some of this stuff as manipulation from federal plants inside of Binance to try to control some of these other things that are ready to pop off. Is this like the first sign that we have of governmental manipulation inside of Binance and Polygon Matic? Because it doesn't seem like something that Polygon Matic or that Binance would be willing to do on their own. But we did see another institution, another exchange, not very long ago that was also manipulating price on Bitcoin, and that person was very tied to the government also, and that would be FTX. And we heard that in the case that they were instructed by Sam Bankman-Fried to suppress the price of Bitcoin. So let's talk. A lot of conspiracy uh-ohs there, right? Little like as my photo always looks like. Um,
Yeah.
what do you guys think? I mean, let's talk this out. I think there could be something going on here. Is it tinfoil hat time? OC, you might want to put your tinfoil hat on for this. So
Absolutely. I haven't made mine here. I needed to. And I've been being reminded of it for a long time. Now that I have interrupted, sorry for that, Treadfly. I know you're always first. I don't read that.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. Let me kind of like say something. I was about to go the other way around, but now that you're bringing this up, I mean, it does connect what I think. I've been saying for a long time that Binance, since it kind of like kicked out their CEO, it's been trying to do things correctly, right? And I mean, I was going to say a little bit more, and I'm going to stand behind this, that I mean, we've seen Binance do this shady thing over and over and over, so it's not surprise, right? So when you get used to it, I mean, it's just like meh. I mean, it just happened again. There's nothing major is going to happen. What is a little bit different here is they're pulling or in other like let's say trustworthy indie companies, or I mean players, right? Like MATIC. And that's a little bit worrying. But now that you mentioned that could be, like that kind of manipulation, we will definitely know. And I say definitely as in between quotation, because still this is my opinion, if they get in trouble or not. And we should be seeing that like in the upcoming months. If we have 2 months and they don't get in trouble, I say absolutely they're falling in with that game that FTX also followed. And I believe that, like since Binance tripped or like below that house of card of FTX, somebody needed to pick up that spot. But yeah, that's my take on it.
all right, Tradefly, what you got, bro?
Well, first, that hurts my heart a little bit, but I want to see Matic do well. I don't. When I look at some of the allocations that are listed in that article, that's not the best spread of money, or where the tokens are, like how many the founders have. Just it's pretty high percentages, honestly. So not a huge fan of that. Just the initial look. Binance, though, I mean, I've made numerous videos on those guys and some of the practices they have. They're just known for, like OC guy said, some shady practices in the background. Even when they were doing their, they were trying to do their proof of funds. That actually stopped like midway through them actually proving their funds. The company that was doing the proof of funds actually walked away. So that told me a lot right there. At that point,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm done with Binance. I actually closed my account, to be perfectly transparent with you guys, because I didn't want to be involved in that. So I was just, I guess I was being conservative after like things like Voyager, FTX, and things of that nature. In terms of like, is this actually happening? Well, we don't know. I would say it's not the smartest thing to do when everything's on the blockchain and people can actually go back and track what you're doing, which always to me like kills the narrative of all the transactions that are fraudulently happening to support like, nefarious activities that the government always talks about. But, you know, uh, I, I will say that I'm not 100% sure, man. This is one of those things that like I'd have to do some research on my own and kind of look into it. But, I hope that it's not true. That's personally what I'll say. Looking at some of the price action just based on this like news too coming out had zero effect. Just kind of looking at the charts right now. So maybe it hasn't really run full circle, but you know, I I would say be cautious, and that's about the
Yep,
best advice that
exactly.
I could really give. You know.
That's great advice. Always do your own research and be cautious. I do want to remind everybody that it wasn't very long ago that we talked about this article. Billionaire Mark Cuban offloads Polygon MATIC holdings to Coinbase as the price rallies. So sold off quite a bit. If we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Is Mark Cuban over here seeing some of this stuff and going, something's not quite right here, and let me get rid of this at pre-bull run. So a little odd there in my opinion to sell off when he did, and I thought it was at the time also, even though he sold in profit. But just it's more of that confirmation or affirmation of information accuracy,
Yeah, that's one of those things. Like you look back on, you're like, oh, damn, I didn't even line that up. So now things seem to be starting to line up. So there could be some validity to that. So again, be cautious. Right now, yeah, just be cautious. Be cautious.
Be careful. Be careful.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into the last two quick things here, and then we're going to get into some charts. So go ahead and get your charts ready. First off, right here, guys, climate scientists warned that all Super Mario levels will be underwater by 2025. That was shared by Digital Asset News. Just throwing a little humor out there in the world. He said, luckily, we have Web3 gaming to save us. So he's, pushing his little Web3 humor there into the Web2 world of the climate control people out there. And also this, there we go. Caspa takeover. Guys, Crux of Crypto coming with, this is his thumbnail for this week's episode that he's going to be releasing. Deep dive on Caspa. It is part of the Crux's curriculum. And this is the thumbnail. So be watching for this on Piper Academy on our YouTube channel. For Piper Academy, this is going to be its own section in there. It's Crux's Corner, and this is his first video that will be coming out this week. So let's go ahead and jump over into the charts, and let's take a look at those and see what we got going on here. I am on Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart, and we talked about, actually, I'm going to show you guys Ethereum first, because we talked about last week when we were on here, I said, be watching for that trade band to be where we come down to, and we should see some action down on the trade band. I picked up I pointed out to you guys that there was the upper trade band. There was that. I said, if we lose this, we're probably going to be heading down to that lower trade band of the predictive ranges there off of the Marcus Dynamics Pro. And there you go. That I can't do any more promotion on Chart Prime that it doesn't do for itself. So there you go, guys. There's that one. We'll get into a more analysis on it and where it's going. That was a great level for it to go to based on historical patterns of Chart Prime, and bam, there it went. We broke out of our trade channel on Bitcoin, guys. It is no longer the trade channel that we can rely on. We have now broke beneath it, and now we have started a trend line down here. I'm going to go ahead and turn my trend line off. Let me get rid of that. There we go. And because we have an auto printed trend line coming up now, diagonal running there for support. Right now, Bitcoin coming down on the daily, heading towards that trend line again, and we do have a peak seeker that printed down here on Bitcoin, but it looks like we might get that rejection off of the zero line. Remember, traditional markets are not open today, and a lot of people are not trading because it is a federal holiday today for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So because of that, very easy to move price today because we don't have the trade volume, but it does look like we might be getting some more downside here on the Oscillator Pro and on the RSI Primed. That is what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. I'm going to do ETH when I come back. I'm going to go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly. What you got, bro?
Cool, man. Yeah, so I have the Bitcoin open on the daily here. So I gave you guys two price areas to look at. One of them was right around the 4 or the 0.5, which is 4. I think I actually called 422 on the show. But it is holding right in that area, so that's good news. On the daily, I like going to the daily a little bit more of a top-down look, only because you can see some bigger trends, and I think it's a little bit more powerful sometimes than the 4 hour. So you can see some divergence with the primed oscillator, and that's clearly, I mean, OC talks about this all the time, where it's 45 degrees down and right. You are seeing a very strong movement down and right. However, MVP is actually showing you a little bit of a bottoming formation. A little call out for you, brother. So could it hold up? I think it's very possible. However, as he just pointed out to you, we are on the bottom side of this channel. So I would look for some kind of retest of that area and then maybe some another potential pullback down and right. So we'll see. We want to get back into that channel ideally. So that's just a look at it on the hourly here. You can see overall though, it's still bullish. We've only printed a higher low at this point. So I wouldn't freak out yet, but I would be on high alert for any kind of movement down and right. So that's what I'm looking at Bitcoin on the daily. But I did want to ask something here. Go ahead and pull up on the trio cam because I got a big question for you. Here's a question.
Shoot, go for
I
it.
was thinking about it over the weekend. We have access to crypto 24/7. The people that are trading the ETFs have access to crypto Monday through Friday. Could there ever be this scenario where we can actually, as retail, kinda I'm not gonna say manipulate the market, but move the market, and then on open Monday or Tuesday, whenever it opens in this week, like, we actually could move the market and kind of screw the people that are in ETFs, even whales. Like,
So
there could be large movements.
CME futures and the people that follow that for the Bitcoin CME futures have been doing that to us for a while. That's how we identified that these gaps keep getting filled. That
Yeah,
that cycle was identified like back in 2020. That the
right.
CME gaps on the CME, that's when everyone started watching the CME futures chart for Bitcoin because
Yeah,
it kept going back to fill those gaps. So yes, um, I don't. I think that it's going to continue to happen to us, even more now. So as retail, but because we're not a big enough group and we don't have enough money to manipulate their price. I think that as long as we are the small ones, that's why it's important for us to get and hold Bitcoin, guys. The time's going to come that the more Bitcoin that we hold, the less there is available for them to manipulate. So that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. They want us to sell our Bitcoin. So.
yeah. I'm just
Although
thinking
I
like
believe
these.
Trifler has a point because, like, at this point, you see the ETF and the price is not moving. So there's a little bit of a different take here. I do believe that Trifler has a point and a very strong point, and at this point, we can manipulate the market and maybe make them suffer. But there's going to be a way because remember, ETF is for institutional money to come rush in. So we're talking about a huge amounts of money, right? So at this point, we will. And in the past, we've seen that with Grayscale, right? When we could actually buy a Bitcoin with a discounted price there, and we covered that on Piper Academy. And I believe that it just has to do with the amount of volume that there is on every specific ETF. So for now, I would say, and I'll be on TradeFly's maybe side. I don't know if you're falling on that side or not, but I understand that you do. That we will be able to manipulate if we all get together and start moving the price where we want to as retail, but we need to move together as a one single whale and then make those guys suffer and possibly, and I would say most likely, if we do that together, we could make or we could force their hand into buying into the ETF sooner than later.
I'm going to go ahead and start writing up that 5 paragraph operations order. TradeFly and Crux of Crypto. You guys can both review it later on in time. We'll put together the op order for Operation GameStop, and we
Yeah,
will all
dude,
gather together and move this
dude.
market against the ETFs.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking about it this week and I was like, man, this could like legit be a thing. But all right, I railroaded us. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the TA. I know that's what people are here for.
All right, OC, let's kick it over to you and show us what you got, brother.
Absolutely. So let me just take my little take on Bitcoin. Remember, I was saying that possibly we're going to be having a little pumping here. I was expecting that pump to get to somewhere around 50K, 54K or something like that. So it fell a little, though it happened what I was expecting. So a little pump and then a dump. And something it's worrying me here, which is, and by the way, guys, I'm buying Bitcoin in this area. And despite I'm going to be a little bit bearish in my analysis. And also at the end of it, I'm going to show you why am I buying Bitcoin there. So we have a bullish divergence here, and we are ranging. So we were supposed to break it here, and we did move to the downside. In fact, we broke to a big support in this channel, right? And then when we bounce from the bottom, and then also we have bullish divergence and big seeker, we are not having that movement. Let me kick it back very quick, and that's what I'm keeping a little short on AVAX, because it is very, very closely related. So just so you know, what am I buying if I'm bearish and we have a strong sell here? Because look at this MVP oscillator, right? So we are below the zero line in here, and we also start having one of those or two of those bars that telling us that possible reversal it's coming. So am I counting for a very sharp change of direction? No, but as you can see right here, we have a little pumping here, all right? So at the end of it all, this is a good area to start DCAing, and this is not financial advice, but I've learned this technique from Army Piper, and I've been following up with great results. So I know he applies it on daily. I'm applying on 4 hours, but that's why I am DCAing, not buying for trading, all right? Just to make that clear. Now, let me show you very quick on AVAX the position that we were in. Remember, we went for this one and then a possible bounce to the upside here and then continuation to the downside, all right? So there is something that was worrying me about this region, that we could be not maybe holding it. And that is this example that we have here. This is still AVAX, and what's happening in the comparison is that we have a trend line, the same, a breakthrough, the same. What we're expecting on the flip of the ribbon, it's a further continuation to the trend line. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, but we see flat out of the ribbon in here, and we see it ranging. That usually tells me that we're gonna be breaking to the downside in here. That's why I was moving my stop closer and just counting the time on this range for me to jump back in. Now the result of it, let's just see it. We did went up all the way up here to our area. So shout out for you guys if you took that trade with me. And nonetheless, we're still within the boundaries of this range, and we are below the zero line, and we had that bullish divergence. So it's not looking good for AVAX. And what does it connect to this? Because we have the same pattern here. We broke below an important, broke back into the range in here. We have a bullish divergence, we have a movement, and let me call for this possible trend line. And I don't think that we're gonna be having that pullback or that cat bounce on Bitcoin. So be very careful on Bitcoin. I do believe that if we do not break to this zero line this week, we're gonna be seeing more downside in the upcoming weeks.
All right. Yeah, good stuff there, OC. Let's take a look here at Ethereum. I gave a little breakdown on where we were heading, but I didn't give you guys what I'm seeing here. So on Ethereum, we do have, I want to point out here, we do have a soft order block right here coming in, and we have another soft order block. So when you guys see the soft, high, loud is the highest, consider high to be like your mid-level, and then your soft is low. There's not a lot there. So these are pretty weak in strength, both of them. So we could easily punch up through these. Coming back up, we have tested our bottom trade bands, so that would mean that we will eventually be heading back to the top trade band if we are going to stay in this range here. One thing that I will point out though is that we did get rejection on the platinum pocket here. That 786 at 2687, just as we had talked about previously. That was our breakdown there. We lost this trend line that I had pointed out to you guys on Friday, and then we came down to that target. We have a trend assistant, we have a dynamic reactor, and we have the golden pocket all sitting here in confluence about the same level. So if we do get this rejection and it does not hold on this predictive range, look for that retest. That would be your entry for a short coming down to test that area. Or you can just hold off, be patient, touch some grass, spend some time with family, and then you can just catch it on the bounce down there at that $2,400, we'll call it, on that golden pocket with that overlapping confluence of the trend assistant and that dynamic reactor. Taking a look at the oscillators here, does look like we did have the uptrend arrow that printed right at the the time that we were testing this predictive range, and we are on the way up. But so I don't know if you guys have seen it. We've showed it to you before, though, where OC does his little box and he does that diagonal line there for 45%. This line is going to be trading in this range. We'd like to see it in this range of this box, which means that we have a weak trend going right now to the upside on this. I am suspecting that this is probably, if we do come back up and get rejected here, going to be about that zero line that we're bouncing off of and coming down for more downside to come to there. If we make it to the upside again, though, guys, it's going to be this platinum pocket that we're going to be retesting here. And if we retest, nope, can I get a draw line? Brush, thanks. If we do retest that platinum pocket and we don't get another rejection back down, again, that upper trade band coming in at about $2,750 on Ethereum. So still bullish on Ethereum. I picked up 11.5 Ethereum a few days ago. I told you guys, hey, I just bought Ethereum. Is right about here that I bought it. Actually, a little bit below that, about 25.50 I bought. I said, look, guys, I just bought Ethereum. It's going to go down now, just so you're tracking. Put it on X. So, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I bought Ethereum, and it pulled back a little bit. But it's for my portfolio bag. It's not a trade. It's a hodl. Adding to that position there for transparency. So, TradeFly, what you got, bro? I'm going to kick it over to you.
Right on.
You got some MATIC for us?
I do. I have some MATIC up for us. All right, so I got MATIC. We'll start on the daily here because there's a little bit of a different story on both of them, but I will say they ultimately probably end up in the same place. All right, so taking a look at the daily, you can see we do have a support level here right at the bottom going kind of up and right? So generally the trend for MATIC is up and right. However, I would say a key area for you guys to look at. I love giving you guys areas to look at with these tokens here. And about 79 cents at the 0.5. So Fib retracement level 0.5, 79 cents. I can see an area of support, right? Because there is some confluence there with a trend line itself that is also trending up and right. So I would concentrate on that area. And the reason I'm concentrating on that area right now is you do see some volume kind of trickling out. And then let's go to the indicators themselves. We'll take a look at that. You can see a trend down and right as well with the prime oscillator here. And then you see it starting to bend back down. We did have a bottoming formation within a subsequent little pump up to the 0.236. However, again, you're seeing a formation, or not a formation, but you can see it kind of trending down and right also on the daily. So going over to the 4 hour just to see if we can get some further confirmation here. Looking at that, you do see that the dynamic reactor has turned red, and then you can see a descending level of resistance. So, two different ways to kind of get to the same point. Key areas here, really, we got to break through this 0.382. You are finding some resistance there. Time now. However, if it does continue to move up, then, the 0.236 is that next level. So right now we're flirting with 86 cents, and I would say 95 cents is going to be the high side, at least in the near term, and then a support level here at the 0.5. So to reiterate, 79 cents, I really think could be a likely area that we come and visit. And with that news coming out, you do see that people are going to start reading this as well. So you see 2 hours ago is when that is really starting to hit the mainstream. So it's going to take people a little bit of time to start reading that news. So I think if I'm a betting man, really 0.5, 79 cents is a very likely area we could see for MATIC.
Okay. I can go with that. OC, what you got? And then I'm going to be pulling up Chainlink. So guys, stay tuned for that. L Jones did ask a question. He said, do you wait for a retest? Let's answer this question real fast. Do you wait for a retest on the 4 hour time frame? Or can it go to a lower time frame and look for a retest there? Yeah, it all top down. That top down analysis is always best. Matter of fact, if you're looking for something on daily, I do always recommend that you drop down to like the 4 hour and look for that retest level there so that you can confirm that and then build up. Okay, we got this lower time frame retest. It's confirmed. Let me check the next one. Yeah, that's always a good way to do it. So yes, you can go down to lower time frames and look for that retest. It's really about that retest on a level, a price level. So no matter what time frame you're on, you can get that retest, especially if that lower time frame candle closes on the 1 hour and you get up next upside, then on that 4 hour, you're just slightly above that retest line. So yes, you can absolutely do that, but I tend to always, like I might go in with the percentage on the 1 hour of my entry and then save the rest of it for that confirmation of that 4 hour close. OC, do you have anything else to add to that, or Tradefly?
No, pretty
Nothing to
much
add
you
here.
covered it all.
Cool. All right, there you go, OC.
Professor Piper.
Get some TA there, bro.
Absolutely. So upcoming card, Dan. So Piper, I picked that one from you, but who calls it that way? Let me know. Who's that?
What's that?
Oh, that car. I call it Cardan, so I pick it up from you, but I don't know who calls it that way.
It was Jim Cramer. He called it Cardonzo. Yes, that Cardonzo
Nice.
bean.
Yeah.
Old Jim Cramer.
Oh, perfect. So we have, well, I already have closed the trade that we had open on ADA. Again, not financial advice. If you want to follow what I do, you're more than welcome. But remember, your keys, your crypto, your decisions. So not financial advice here. So we did very, very nice in here. Just to tell you, TP number 1, TP number 2, trailing went out as I start crossing the dynamic reactor. And remember, I was expecting, so that's why I wait 1 or 2 candles, a flip of the previewing here for a continuation. What happened? We broke down below, therefore my trailing stopped me out right here. Nonetheless, that's why I take TP1, TP2, and then the last one is trailing. Now we are below the 0 line, and we have a confluence here with this peak seeker. Nonetheless, we are below here. And remember that range that we're talking about, Bitcoin, AVAX, and maybe even EGLD. Well, then the same thing is happening here, a little bit different, and you can see it if I start drawing this trend line down here as we have that breakthrough. We haven't had the pullback, so it's not looking good on ADA. I'm not going to be engaging into any shorts just yet, although it could be very profitable. I don't see any entries just yet. For me to enter in ADA or Cardano, I'm going to be showing you. So I'm going to be turning on my patterns in here, and look at that beautiful pattern that we have. We have a symmetrical pattern or a symmetrical triangle, right? So it seems that we're breaking here. As soon as we complete a breakthrough, and I also flipping back down, I'll be very quick to enter here. So I'm going to be adding an alert somewhere around there at almost the same entry I had it before, just in case I start missing on that movement. Up next, if we instead make a fake out and then we start flipping up, or if I start seeing this ribbon going into the green and breaking to the 0 line, that will be for me an indication that we're going to be breaking up. And I'm going to wait for it to bounce out of this resistance, go back to the dynamic reactor, wait for that breakout or even flip of the ribbon, and then engage for a long at the retest. So for me, it's a waiting zone on ADA. So that's what I got on ADA. Kicking it back to you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, Tradefly, I'm going to kick it over to you. If you can pull back up MATIC. Aaron had a question about MATIC, so I'll let you answer that. He asked about, is MATIC going to pull a big old complex head and shoulder?
Yeah, so looking at it right here, I believe, oop, that's the 1 hour. That ain't gonna do us any justice. Sorry, I was looking at something else here, but I did see it when I think Dave mentioned it as well. So here we go. Let's go ahead and make it bigger so we can all see it. I see what they're talking about right there and right here. And then so if we actually do a little measure, let's see, let's take a trend line here from the head. Let's see,
Trend line up top. You're on it. Yep.
Yep, there we go, to the neck. And then let's go ahead and move that down. It's going to be somewhere pretty ugly. Sorry, line's a little crooked there. Let's straighten it up. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at some of the fib retracement levels. You could see, I would say probably if it did play out somewhere around the 0.786, so about 62 cents. Not ideal. That does line up with some previous horizontal support. But really, I think this is going to be based on the news that's coming out, right? So keep an eye on that, right? So I think that's going to be the driving factor.
What is the measured move with the ruler over there on your left? What's the measured move from its current price to that 786?
Current price to the 786 is about 25%.
Well, if you consider that Bitcoin typically does a 50% retracement in it going into its halving, either just before or just after, that would not be unheard of to see on MATIC. So keep an eye on that one, guys. Go ahead and set a trend line on that neckline of that and set an alert for it. If it breaks it and it retests on it and confirms that as resistance now on that neckline, you could have a really substantial move there. And that's how I would approach that on
Yeah.
MATIC there. So,
Yeah,
all
I
right,
would
let's
say,
jump
like,
over. Go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was just gonna say we did have a head and shoulders here as well, and I think there was more momentum for this one to actually play out, and it definitely found support here at the golden pocket and just continued up and right. So, I would first look there personally, golden pocket, right? That's
Yep.
that's like the big area for you guys to really keep an eye on. But I think it's gonna be a news driven thing. So I would say keep an eye on the story we talked about. That's kind of the reason we had the thumbnail. And if that really picks up some traction and momentum, then yeah, like I would really start looking for this head and shoulders to potentially play out.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And also, keep in mind that that previous support zone, that golden pocket, absolutely super strong there. So
Yep.
I would watch for that 50 first because the 50 typically we get bounces on it once we're above it and it proves bullishness. But it's really going to be dependent upon what happens with the markets and the economy over the next month and a half. So
Yeah.
let's jump into chain link here. Let me get my chain link hat on. Got to have the chain link hat on for this one, guys. Bam, there we go. Looking at chain link here, guys. We do have a soft order block sitting right above us right now. We are getting a rejection on that 786 of the platinum pocket. Chain link, though, up pretty decent for today. If you look at the actual 24-hour here, I'm on the daily here. Let's go back one day. This would be right here. Bam. We are still up about 8% from about 24 hours ago. So looking pretty decent here. Getting that bounce on the daily right off of that golden pocket here. We do have the dynamic reactor still coming up. So even if this retest, watch for that golden pocket to be our support range. That is going to be a price level of about $13.20 upwards to about $13.75. So that 50-cent range in there with that dynamic reactor pushing up in there sometime in the next week and a half. We are about to hit that zero line. If we can get above the zero line here with the RSI primed, or with the Prime Oscillator Pro ribbon, we would be heading up to the upside here. And I would be watching for that 887 there of the platinum pocket. Let's go ahead and just grab a regression trend tool, guys. If you guys don't know how to do this, come over here. It's called regression trend. We're just going to go ahead and drop that right here in this range. And you can see that we've got a nice little range going here that you can trade. It's right off the golden pocket and right off the platinum pocket on the daily. Little bit below that, but you can set that platinum pocket up to play your stop losses on or to play your entries on. So if you're a little bit more patient, you can get much better entries there. But yeah, we got this range here. Definitely looking at that golden pocket as key support over the past, going back to November. So several months now we've had this in play here on this regression trend. Let's go check out the 4 hours, see how chain links looking there. On the 4 hour, we had this trend line that I'd been talking to you guys about that this was playing on. We retested it. We got a fake out here on it and it pulled back down again. Right now we are in that range of that platinum pocket and retesting that as our support. Let's bring it in on the current 4 hour candle and you'll see right there trying to hold this as our support at $15.54 range. So keep an eye out on that one, guys. If we can hold that, hold this 4 hour candle in the platinum pocket, then I would be expecting it to go up and retest that 1680. If not, again, golden pocket, 0.66 here, $13.75 is going to be our support range. We are coming up to the top here on the 4 hour, so we could be seeing a little cool off here on the RSI prime, on the signal line of the Ichimoku, and on the RSI prime. Did get a downtrend arrow already, so I'm more prone to say that this might see some downside unless Bitcoin starts to go sideways, and then this will be the point for the upside. So yeah. So 1375 support, 1680 resistance. There you have it, folks. OC or TradeFly, one of you got one real fast, or do you want to go ahead and are you good and we can pop out?
I got
Amen.
EGLD or hello, whatever you guys like, or we can just
Do hello. We'll finish it out with hello.
perfect.
Hello.
All
Hello.
right, so hello, let's go. So,
Yeah.
in fact, I mean, shout out, yeah, because we're talking about this one on the chart frame group. So, guys, also we're gonna be bringing this one because Crypto Archie, a shout out to Crypto Archie, by the way. He kind of like gave us the tip on this one. His one, it is, I believe, the second on his list. So let's take a look at what is it happening. I did had a previous analysis here where I was expecting a pump on hello because we have a little bit more to go to the upside here. What happened right there on that analysis, it is that we did bounce from the dynamic reactor, but we did not sustain that bounce. Although we get a target hit, and by the way, full transparency, I did not enter on that trade. Why? I just did not place alarms, and if I don't place alarms, I just don't trade it. Something that just happens to me. All right. Nonetheless, let's take a look at this because I am looking for a possible DCA entry here. So we have a very nice trend line here. Counting this fake out, we have a trend line here. What I'm looking for that trend line, it is that we break through that zero line and then also that we have a double bottom. So far with that double bottom, seems like we are doing fairly okay, but we could be coming into a squeeze. All right. I need to see the dynamic reactor, the ribbon breaking through the zero line and also breaking through this line for me to acknowledge this is a W pattern and that we're breaking the neckline. So I'm gonna be entering at the neckline broken with confirmation. And then if we retrace, I might be DCing back in for a continuation to the upside. All right, we are pretty bearish, so this is going to be a very risky strategy, guys. Not financial advice. All right. After that, let's just bring up the heavy duty tools here. So let me get started with, oh, come on, this one here. I know it's a little bit spaghetti, so let me clear this up a little bit and then also zoom in so we can see things much cleaner and also make a space here. By the way, to crypto trades that gave us some inside data on how to get rid of that spaghetti. So we have a soft order block here, and also we have a very high order block here, which indicates me that we could be in. Oh, let me just fall back. That on the breakout on this triangle, we already have hit target. But look at what we got here. We have money flow POC, and also we have a predicted range purple line. Usually when we're hitting purple line, this for me, it's an indication that we could be reversing strongly. All right. So I could be waiting for a possible entry here. All right. And then blasting through that soft order block and then going to the high order block, getting rejection, going back for a little bit of a retest and maybe moving this money flow POC to the next area in here, all right? Because we might be having some liquidations. And then finding support at the next updated POC and soft order block for a continuation. So can we still moving downwards? Yes, we are bearish, all right? But I'm looking for a possible DCA entry for a long-term movement to the upside. So that's what I got on Hello, guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Hey, this is for who was it in the chat? Aaron asked here, I believe it was.
L. Jones.
No, L. Jones. L. Jones. There you go. Take your quick screenshot. Get it while it's getting good. And there you go. Guys, awesome. Thanks for joining us today. There is a lot of bearish news. There's a lot of bearish information. There's a whole lot of FUD going on out there. At the end of the day, really, it's about risk management if you're trading, and it's about patience and dollar cost averaging. Take a sip and buy the dip, especially if you're drinking some of the best coffee around. Guys, it's delicious coffee. Let me go ahead and bring it over here. I got to get it up here first because my buttons don't want to play nice with me. But it is Legendary Aviation Coffee. So if you guys don't have it yet, check the link down below. You guys can get Legendary Aviation Coffee. I don't even know where it's at on my thing. I'll have to get my quick buttons are gone today. I don't know why, but yeah, Legendary Aviation Coffee, take a sip and buy the dip. That's what it's about. when you get all this fun, you get all this information, it's just people trying to shake you out from your money. If you're trading this volatility, make sure you're using stop losses, make sure you're using good risk management. And if you want to get the indicators that are just calling these levels perfectly for us, you guys can check it right there. That is Chart Prime. You can get 45% off your first monthly or quarterly subscription in the link below. Best discount you can get on the market. So TradeFly OC, you guys got anything for the people before we head out?
As always, it was awesome having you guys on. I really enjoyed doing this every day with you guys. So yeah, I would keep calm on this one. I know there is some FUD, but hey, I think I hear go long. That's what I heard. So yeah. But, yeah, let's do it again tomorrow, shall we? And I actually mean it this time. So
Let's do it.
Yes.
OC, what you got, bro?
For me, just thank you very much, guys, for being around. Remember, we always try to get you the best analysis, the best information to get you prepared. Also, we try to be as transparent as we can with you guys, so you can also follow on kind of like a behind the scenes of what we do. All of us here trade for a living, so what we do or what we show is what we do. So thank you guys so much. Getting it back to you, Piper.
I like that.
Awesome.
What we say is
I
what
like
we
it a lot.
do.
It's what we do.
All
Hey
right.
guys, thanks for joining us here on Piper Academy today. We will catch you guys here tomorrow morning live, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the home of all your news, your markets, your charts, your TA, everything that you need to have knowledge. Why? Because knowledge is profit, guys. We'll catch you here tomorrow morning. Till then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss. Finish.
That was awesome, dude!